Alright guys, check this thing out. So I still need to clean up the wheels and tires and a little bit more here and there, but Daddy went through with the buffer this time and buffed it, and it looks even better than when I did it by hand. Like, it looks pretty amazing. I do think I may end up keeping this and selling the truck, so we'll see what happens. All right guys, got the Genesis in here and about to start modifying it. And the first thing we've got is a front lip for it. So we're gonna try to fit that up first, and then we're gonna have it all painted, have this spot fixed and all that. And then we got some other stuff coming in, and we got these things going on there. So these are 19 by 11s on the rear and 18 by 8.5 for the front. So it should be pretty thick. And got some wide body stuff coming in, and decided to go all out on this thing. And Daddy's real excited to cut it up, aren't you?
No.
So it is a little scary cutting up, especially a good car like this, but I think it'll be worth it when we get done. So first thing I want to do is start fitting this thing up, see if we can get it on there, get this bumper off. And about to start yanking this thing off, and it's seen some better days. Got a couple screws, got a hitch, got stuff hanging out here. So try to fit this lip on there and hide a whole bunch of crap and then have it painted. So I think it'll look a lot better. This is the first step to getting down to what we got to do. So we'll take this little grill off here. Now it's already racy looking. So got all the grills out of it. So we'll have to trim all this stuff out of them. And we're gonna get this thing mounted up on there. That should tie it back in together, because we got crack here, crack here, crack here, crack there. So then when it's all painted, I think it'll look pretty good. But that thing's theirs is a urethane.
Urethane.
It's a urethane.
Urethane.
It fits beautifully. All right, so we'll work on the bumper later, but that's just kind of how it's gonna look. So this is the intercooler right here. That's what's got to come out. And right now it's the base for the radiator. So there's a couple bolts right there, those two little bolts with the yellow dots. That kind of bolts it together. We've got to undo that and then lift the radiator up and pull this out, because Mishimoto wants you to remove the radiator and everything else, which is pretty crazy. So we're gonna work around it, make it work. All right guys, I got the little ram air intake off, got all the little stuff out of the way. So now we can start disconnecting all of the pipes and all that stuff, start disconnecting the intercooler here, and then following these pipes down to where they connect. See if we can pull this thing out. So we'll go ahead and pull the couple bolts off of each side. There it is. It's the box from Mishimoto. That's the intercooler. Got some other boxes in here. Go ahead, Chris. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, not that.
You want to see the inside? Here's the inside.
Staples too.
Oh, that's staples. Staples center.
That's pretty easy.
Weak staples.
Awesome. I wanted the Mishimoto, what they call gold, but they were out of those, so I went ahead and went with the silver here. Cool.
A little stick-on air freshener.
Yeah, those are my favorite. Chili. There it is. Sweet.
Ooh la la.
It's actually pretty good size,
Mishimoto.
considering how small that one is. That should be pretty good.
That's it. You got cardboard.
Oh.
And cardboard. Couplers. Some bands.
Ooh.
Good bands too.
Yeah.
90.
Big old bolts. And if you're in California,
One I
you
can't.
got one of those carb stickers for those crazy guys out there. Cool. A lot of buttons. Sweet. And the bad thing is on ours, because we've got the HKS blow-off valve, we're gonna have to cut into this brand new Mishimoto pipe because it's designed to use your stock diverter valve, and this one has an ISR block-off plate on it and the HKS. So we'll have to work on that, but it's kind of sad. All right, guys, I got the bolts removed on both sides of the intercooler in there. Now we're gonna drop it back down and get out all the piping that we can get out of the way. And then we'll try to get that old one out of there. All right, so we got this side disconnected. Pulled the HKS blow-off valve out of the way. And you've got an air sensor right here. That has to be disconnected because you'll have to move it over to the new piping. So that's gotta be pulled up out of there. And then unhook the pipes from the bottom, pull those out of the way. Right, get that side loose down there, pulled it up. Now we're gonna get this side loose and try to pull it all the way up. And you just got a hose clamp right there. So there's the hose clamp we gotta get to. So we gotta get in here. This little panel down here is pretty much broken on mine, so I was able to get in there. Yours may not be broken, so you may have to make that work, but see if we can get that clamp off. Perfect. The first thing we're doing is moving a couple bolts out from the radiator. All right, guys, so that did work, removing those up there. Now the whole thing will lift up out of here and actually has some movement. So we just got to pry this over and around and try to fit it down through here. There he goes, there he goes. All right, guys, we got most of this stuff separated down here and trying to pry this thing out. Now we're trying to see if we can lift the fan up out of there and get a little bit more room.
All right, up here on the top side, we had to remove the 4 bolts on either side of the radiator, which is connected to these, and they're on the little pins on the left and right side of the radiator. Once you've done that, you've got to take the reservoir, which is on this side, driver's side, take the 2 screws out of it. Once they're out of the way, there's a screw located right here, and then one on this side down about 6 inches right there. Remove those, you can lift the fan up at that point, and then it will help Jordan on the bottom side too.
Yeah, once we get everything moved down here, now you can have the fan lifted up, and then the intercooler actually lifts up and then moves forward, and you've got plenty of place to get it out here. Now that we've got that done, we can take these brackets, and those will actually bolt up back on here and actually run back down to the pin so that everything holds itself back together, mount the fan back in place, and then that part's done. All right, so now we've got these bolts in here, got the nuts on the back side. These are the 4 longer ones. We'll get those tightened up and then get everything fastened back to the top. Right, Chris is fastening back the radiator at the top, and this airflow meter has to be moved over. So we'll unbolt that and then move it onto the new piping. And we are gonna have to cut this piping up here to make my blow-off valve work. Right, you got that trimmed up. Now we're gonna add an edge back to it. A little bevel on my little bevel tool that I made. All right, guys, if you've been following this channel, you can see that I made my little thing out of my 2.5-inch exhaust pipe and a pair of old vice grips, washer. It makes a pretty good edge. You just crimp it around through there, work your way around, and it's better than a slick piece of pipe. All right, mounting the intercooler, we've got the 2 brackets they supplied. Stock bolts go back in the same spots they come off of when we drop that panel down. This will go up and the intercooler will mount right here. All right, intercooler is mounted. Got these up here, got it pretty much centered up. Now we just need to tighten up these bolts, and all these come with it. Everything bolts up. These are the stock ones there, and then we'll start running piping. All right, guys, this coupling, it seems like it's just a little bit too small. I think it should be a 2.5, and it's 2 1/4 to 2, and this has got to be the one that goes here, but it does not seem to be fitting, so we're trying to stretch as hard as we can. All right, guys, we finally got it on there, and it took heating it up with a heat gun, some WD-40, a couple different things. You can see how much it's stretching it just to try to fit. I mean, it was the last 30 minutes, just that one coupling. Right, we got that smaller coupling there. Going over to here. It's connecting in here. And then that travels down, goes to here. I'm gonna tighten that one up now. And the hot side is done. All right. Looks pretty good. Now it's got a fun angle with this one. All right, guys, the intercooler piping is finally done. Christopher had to head out. I appreciate him coming to help me some. So, yeah, with this one having the HKS blow-off valve, I had to cut the pipe here and then kind of move around some of my fittings and some of my clamps to make it work. This is the clamp that came with it, the coupling that came with it. And I'll order a black one just to make them all the same. But it's all back together now. You can kind of get an idea of how they fit together. So that should be good. Now I just got to get the fan back in, put the coolant tank back in, and fire it up and see what happens. All right, guys, that is it. Looks pretty good. The little ram vent that goes in the airbox can obviously not go back because there's really no way to get it back in there. But that's all right. It's not too bad. That looks pretty good. So it's got a good look to it. So I guess it's time to crank it. See how it does. Here comes first gear. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's definitely moving out much quicker than it was. Right, guys, here is a third gear pull. Whoa. It went up and spiked at 16 and then pulled itself back down. Dang. Yeah, that's definitely getting some cooler air. That's freaking awesome. Tell you what, this thing amazes me how quick it builds boost. Like it just seems quicker now. Like that's pretty insane. Like you mat it and a split second later, I mean, you're in boost. That's pretty insane. All right, it definitely feels more powerful. You know, it's not crazy, obviously, but you can definitely tell it's getting cooler air, and it seems to hit boost quicker. And you can hear all the noises a little better, but it's moving out pretty good. I think definitely a good purchase. It takes the intercooler out from under the radiator, which just heat soaking, and sticks it out in front of it a pretty good bit, 4 or 5 inches out in front of it, and there's nothing behind it. And it definitely looks better having a full front mount on there. And we're gonna rock it without a bumper for a while until I get the bumper done and get it repainted and get it back on there. And then hopefully by that time the wide body stuff will be in. But there we go. The installation wasn't too bad. Mishimoto makes excellent stuff. I want to thank them for sponsoring this build and sponsoring the ride. on helping us out with some of the parts and stuff. So appreciate that. That one coupling was really the hardest thing that we had to mess with. And I think if it was sized a 1/4 inch bigger, it might be a little bit easier to do. I mean, it's manageable, you can do it, but it's kind of rough. But no, that's it, and we appreciate it. Thank you again, Mishimoto, for that, and everything you sent us, and more to come, guys. Appreciate it. Right, guys, don't forget you can get $25 off of ceramic coating, the Armor Shield 9 from Avalon King, by putting HiRevz 25 in at checkout at avalonking.com. Also, don't forget to like, comment, and share on this video for your chance to win the AMR 500 Supercharger.